Well, hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Johnny, and you're watching Hillbilly Modeling. And we have a new kit to build. And the one we've got for this one, this is the Atlantis Wright Cyclone Radial Engine C9HE, and it is a stem kit. And for reference, this is the kit number. It is M6052. Yeah, 6052. And, oh, almost dropped it there. Might end up with more damage. There is a painted version of it here, and then, of course, on the front, I think that's also a painted version. We'll jump down on the bench and take a look at the box, and then we'll open it up and see what's inside. So this kit came to me damaged, as I showed you earlier there, but it doesn't seem to be anything messed up inside the box. However, there's a lot of loose stuff inside there. So that is the Wright Cyclone Radial Engine. It comes with an educational STEM booklet, and also it's molded in 4 different colors, and it's officially licensed. That's nice to have, I guess. Let's see, we are 1/12 scale, so this is a fairly decent sized model once it's assembled. 1 plastic kick, Radial Aircraft Engine, authentic model, highly detailed parts scaled from the Curtiss-Wright official engineering drawings. We have a stub propeller, as you can see there, and adjustable service rack dolly, which is what the engine is mounted on. And there is a 8-page illustrated booklet that is included in the kit. For the action, it has a cutaway cylinder, and I think that cutaway cylinder is optional. You can either build it with or without, but it shows the piston and connecting rod in motion as the prop is revolved. So that is that part of the box. We've already seen the end. On the very end, we have the features length is 6 inches. Number of parts is 64, and it's molded in 4 colors. And it also includes the water slide decals. There's a little bit of history about our Wright engine. Looks like over 115,000 Wright Cyclone engines were constructed in 9 major variants. So there are still Wright Cyclone engines in use today. So let's pull the top off this and take a look at what's inside the box here. So this is right on top, and that appears to be coil wires for the magneto, maybe. And it is made out of this kind of funny plastic. We'll get to that, but that's the first thing. There's the first bag. We got our engine stand in there and our intake, and as you can see, it's molded in red and black plastic, as well as our push rods. We'll look at all that. There's another bag in here where a lot of loose parts are. It's kind of sounds like a brittle plastic. We'll check that out. Which pretty. The indication is that when the parts break off like that, that plastic is fairly brittle, but we'll see. Get that out of the way. And we have our instructions, and we also have this nice little booklet here. So let's tear into this stuff, and oh, wait a minute, here we go. There's also a little placard for it. There we go. I guess those are the water slide decals. Now that I've cleaned the bench off, I don't think there's any more decals. If there is, it's stuck in the booklet somewhere. But we get a data plate, and then we get our name tag there for our engine stand for display. Scale is 1 inch equals 1 foot, so that's 1/12 scale. 9 cylinders, 1,820 cubic inch displacement with 1,525 horsepower. Let's see. So that'll be nice for our display stand. So we do have our STEM book. And it's got a nice picture of the engine on it there. And there is history. I won't read all this to you. Types of aircraft that had the engine in it. Talks about the 4-cycle engine. Very nice. Also, this is nice. It's a schematic breakdown of the engine and internal components. The 6 basic assemblies of the Cyclone 9 engine. And as they are numbered over here, they also give you a little section describing what that system was all about. And on the back, we have a nice list of the components that you can see from the outside of the engine. So it's a nice little booklet to have. And then we come to our instructions. So we have history on the front here, and decal instructions is there. And this is a large fold out. Oh, okay. Take this in sections. Read these instructions before you begin. That's always a good idea. We have multiple languages there. I won't pretend to know what all of them are. And then we also have our call-outs here for our paints, if we wish to use them, I guess. Black, red, silver, and gray. And then at the bottom we have our little legend that tells us optional parts, repeat several times, remove and throw away, do not cement, and cement. So, see if I can zoom in a little bit better here. There we go. If I can stay on track, we'll be all right. So we do have an option here. We can change out the front cylinder head to either show the sleeve inside and the piston that goes up and down, or we can have it enclosed like all the other cylinders. So it comes with a single piston. When you turn the propeller, you can see it go up and down inside, which would be pretty nice if we choose to build it that way. And so this is the total breakdown. So this picture kind of gives us an idea of how everything is going to more or less go together, which would be good reference if we have any questions in the rest of our instructions. We'll slide on over here to step 1. This is that option part for building up that one cylinder, and then the one that shows the piston. And then we have all the other cylinder assemblies, simply 2 pieces that you put together. And then we have our cylinder skirts that go on around the engine, around the crankcase. We have crankcase halves, and then we have our push rods, valve push rods. They've named these, if you can see. They tell you what those parts are, which is really nice. So if you want to do this kit with, say, your children or grandchildren, this would probably be a really fun build. And it's pretty simple, it appears, and the way they're numbered, they go straight across the top. So step 4, you got a governor that goes on, and a torque meter cap. Wow. So they have gotten really in-depth with the numbering of everything. They tell us that there are 2 pipes that needs to come off of that spider-looking piece. Ignition harness, that's what that is. And then we have two pipes, oil pipes. This is an oil pipe and a low tension lead, whatever that is. And they say do not cement. And they even point out, as you can see there, a locator tab. So that way you know how this part is supposed to set with your push rods. Yeah. And it appears to be that just gets sandwiched in. And then you got your shaft, step 8, the crankshaft, the propeller. Then step 9, if you're putting in the piston, they tell you about that. Cylinder halves, oil pump, and sumps. And your fuel intake pipes. I imagine that's also air intake. And let's see. So they go ahead and show you how to put everything together. It looks very, very easy to follow. Supercharger rear cover. Carburetor halves. So very interesting kit. These are those parts that we cut off in step 5. One of them. The low tension lead. So I guess that's coming from the magneto. I don't know. So, I don't know that much about Cyclone engines. Yeah, so fluid power pump, generator, your starter, tachometer halves. This is the oil pipe that goes on that we cut off in step 5 also. Shows you where that decal, that placard goes on the front of the engine. And then we get into assembling our stand, step 22. Flip this thing over. Ooh. Alrighty. And more stand assembly. You also have retainers for the stand right here so that it doesn't come out of the stand itself. So we have a rotating mount that goes in there. And then we also have our locking pins so that we can position it, I guess, at different angles. It appears 3 different angles. There's 3 holes there. And then your data plate. And then completed assembly. Now those are nice photographs. They're black and white. You can see there. And then they can show how your engine can be positioned on the stand. So those are the instructions. Very nice. So now we'll take a look at this. As you can see, we do have some flash on it. Now this is made out of that material, very reminiscent of the old type of semi-flexible tracks that you get on some of the real old armor kits. And it shouldn't be a problem trimming this little stuff here up. I think that would be okay. So here's one of those pipes that we're going to remove, and then there's the other one that we'll remove in the assembly process. I don't know how well this stuff is going to hold paint, because of the different colors, you can either paint it or leave it as it is. There are sink marks in every one of these. I don't know if it's a coil pack or whatever it is, but as you can see, every one of them have a sink mark on them. I don't know what's going to stick to that. If we want to fill those, I don't know. So they do have the numbers right on the part there. You can see that one's 53. This one over here is 29. So when you cut those off, you won't get them mixed up. Item number 30. So they have these funny little loops here. I guess those snap more or less into place on the cylinders. And the end of each one of these has a ball on it. So I'm wondering if those actually plug into a hole with no cement required. I don't know. We'll see when we go to build it. But there's that part. So our first bag. Now I haven't opened these, so I apologize. I probably should have. They are still sealed, so we are in good shape. I want to be careful that I don't lose anything. So let's set the engine stand apart there. Take a look at this. Now this is heavily molded. So we do have flash, as you can see there. But now if you are familiar with Atlantis kits, you're probably used to seeing stuff like that. I've built one a long time ago, and it was not a great experience for me, so I'm hoping this will be much better. So we do have some seams here, molding seams, as you can see there. We have our wheels for our casters, molded in black, and our push rods. As you can hear, that plastic seems pretty brittle. And there are sink marks here in the wheels. Now this kit is made in the USA. Come on, USA. I would expect better. More sink marks there. Not all these wheels have these sink marks. So, well, I'll take that back. They do. So, not much to see there, really. I think this is the carburetor unit, maybe. So it does have some detail on it, but it's kind of reminiscent of the old Revell kits. Since I've built a few Revells here recently, it kind of reminds me of that. But there are plenty of opportunities there for detailing, and you can see we actually have bolt detail. It's a little bit rounded, but it's there. Okay, this is a wheel that fell off, so we don't want to lose that. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8. 2, 4, 6, yeah. There's 8 wheels, so you can take and probably, it should be 2 per corner. So if you put the sink mark ends facing each other, it shouldn't be a real issue. Then we have our engine stand. Not a lot to see here. You got the main frame, and then we got the A-frames that go on the ends, and then we have our stand section there for the engine to mount to. As you can see with my hand underneath it there, even though I don't have excessively large hands, this is pretty good size. Excuse me. Take a look here, see where we're at. So just the stand itself is 4 inches tall for the mounting plate. So it should be a fairly good size piece to build there. All right, let's move on to the other bag. And this one has most of the parts that are loose. There we go. Get that off there. Be real careful here so nothing hits the floor. All right, probably best if I zoom out a little bit, don't you think? Oops. There we go. All right, let me pull the black stuff out here. We'll look at that in a minute. So we do have parts that are rolling around everywhere. Since these are off, apparently this is part 37 right here because it's stamped. 37, or I should say it's molded right in. So there is a little bit of, I would say that is mold alignment. You can see that edge there on that pipe. But that would clean up really easy. It appears to be fairly flat and not warped, so of course you never know until you get the parts together and see what you've got. But okay, so that looks fine, I guess. And here we have a piston half that has come off the sprue. And watch me drop it and lose it. I guess that would decide what version we build. And you can see there are piston rings. I hope you can see it. So, and then we have our main crankcase halves here and there. This would be the shaft for our prop. And there are some rather large sink marks in whatever that component is. Doesn't look too bad to fill, but I would rather not have to fill. But that's the thing, when you mold really large parts, you can run into those issues, and you'll see that a lot on older kits. Now this kit was made in 2021. This is a 2021 release. So there's the front of our crankcase. We got some nice bolt detail there. And this was the turbocharger rear cover, I think, which would also be the accessory drive for the other components. And there's the housing. Comes in two pieces. The bolt detail, you can see there. So all in all, it really doesn't look that bad. Other than the wheels and this part right here, I don't really see a bunch of sink marks and bad molding, I guess. But you can see how thick that part is. So you are going to have some shrinkage with big thick parts like this. Not a lot of flash on this particular piece. Most of the flash is right here on the sprue. So we do have some mold seam lines, of course, to take care of. But all in all, if nothing's really warped, it should go together pretty good. And just looking at this sprue, they could have done a really much better job by having, you know, the boxed in type sprues that we see in all modern kits. But it's like they're kind of doing the throwback thing, I guess. Maybe they're saving money that way. All right, get that out of the way. We don't want to lose those. And look here, this is the one that most of the pieces have come off of. So they all look pretty much the same, and they should. You got the front half and the back half of the cylinders, and then we've got these caps that they mount onto. Now this is black plastic, so it's going to be really hard to see if I can catch some light. There we go. See the details in there. So this is the one optional one. It has the slot cut out in it for the connecting rod to go up through. If you choose to have the open, the one cutaway cylinder. Probably easier to take a look at these. So this would be the back half. You can see the cooling fin detail, which actually looks pretty good. Oh, I got a piece of dust in there or something. There we go. So we have our locator tabs for putting them on the mounting plates. And then this is the cutaway one. And they would go together like so. I don't really see an alignment issue. So what does it look like with... So this is one where the push rods... Let me lay that down. This is where the push rods would go up into the head there. Fair detail. I'm kind of surprised. I don't think this is going to be an issue to build. There's a little bit of wiggle room. So since these parts are already off, we'll check that. So a little bit of wiggle room there, but yeah. Very interesting. That's a good size cylinder. Hard to see these details in the black plastic. So there we go. I believe, yep, that's all's in the box. So yeah, that's it. That's our Wright Cyclone Radial Engine C9HE stem kit from Atlantis in 1/12 scale. It should make a pretty good display piece. I hope it makes a good display piece. That's the whole point, right? Now you can paint this kit, or if you have young kids, like I said, or grandchildren, and you'd like to maybe build this kit with them, that would be great. Christmas is coming up. Something to look at. It would make well, any model, I think, would make a good Christmas present. Just in case I'm on your list. Just thought I'd let you know. Also, it is an American-made product. We'll see how well that goes on when we get to building it. But first impressions is, other than a few little sink marks here and there, and some sink holes to fill in that one part, it looks to be a pretty decent kit. The cylinders seem to fit together pretty good. Of course, we won't know about the rest of it until we actually start building it. So these kits usually retail around $50 US. I got this one cheaper on Amazon, and I had some of those reward bucks that I used. So it cost me considerably less. But you can't catch them, especially at those large stores like Hobby Lobby, when they have their 40% off sale, and you can get a decent deal on that. So yeah, but nationwide, that's usually what it goes for, is about 50 bucks. So special thanks to all my subscribers. Because of you guys, I keep making these videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd appreciate a like. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see and I earned your subscription today and you're not a subscriber, I hope you think about subscribing. So guys, this is the next project, so we're going to build it. I think we will paint ours, but you don't have to do that. That could be a little bit messy with the kids. So, so until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.